In this video, I'm going to share some hidden insecurities that women often keep to themselves because they don't want to seem weak. By understanding these, you can have an unexpected edge in winning them over. So, let's dive into the first vulnerability, the steadfast man. This is a powerful concept, and if you understand it, it can completely shift the way you approach relationships. Women, by nature, are often drawn to men who show consistency, guys whose actions align with their words. Think about it. How often do people make promises they can't keep? It's all too common, and because of that, when someone actually follows through, it stands out. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone who always talks a big game but never delivers? It's frustrating, right? Well, women experience this all the time, which is why they value a man whose actions mean more than his words. A guy who doesn't overpromise but follows through on the things he says is someone they trust, someone they respect. The secret here isn't about saying less just for the sake of it. It's about saying exactly what you mean and doing what you say. When your actions and words are in harmony, you become a man of integrity. And trust me, women notice this deeply. Imagine being the guy who always delivers, who doesn't just fill the air with empty promises, but backs them up with real, tangible actions. You become someone she can rely on, and that reliability is incredibly attractive. Let's break it down with a real-life scenario. Say you want to come off as a high-value man. You don't need to boast about your achievements or brag about your connections. Instead, let your actions speak for you. Maybe you casually introduce her to some of your female friends or post photos with them on social media. No need to make a big deal out of it, just subtle actions that show you're desired and respected by others. That alone can communicate so much more than words ever could. But here's where I want to introduce a little Stoic wisdom, something that adds a deeper layer to this whole idea. Stoicism teaches us to value actions over words, to stay grounded and let our character speak for itself. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often emphasized that we should waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. It's the same in relationships. Don't just talk about being a good partner or a reliable man. Be one. Let your actions define you, not your words. This approach also protects you from becoming someone who feels the need to impress others constantly. A Stoic man doesn't seek validation through words. He knows his value and expresses it through his actions. In relationships, this can be incredibly powerful because you're not trying to convince anyone of your worth. It's already apparent through how you live and behave. So next time you find yourself in a situation where you want to win someone over, remember, less talk, more action. Women are naturally attracted to steadfast men, those who live by their principles and don't waver. And when you align your behavior with your values, you not only create attraction, you also gain respect. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Try it out. See how things shift when you focus on backing up your words with meaningful actions. Now let's talk about the confident man. Confidence, true confidence, not arrogance, is one of the most magnetic traits a guy can have. But here's the thing. Confidence isn't just about being loud or dominating every conversation. It's much deeper than that, and understanding this can make all the difference. Think about it. Why is confidence so attractive? It's because deep down, everyone has their own insecurities, their own uncertainties. And when a woman sees a man who seems comfortable in his own skin, it's incredibly refreshing. Confidence, in a way, offers a sense of stability. It's like saying, I know who I am, and I'm okay with it. That sense of self-assurance contrasts with the doubts many people, including women, often wrestle with. So when you carry yourself confidently, it naturally draws people in because you become someone they can trust to handle life's ups and downs. Let me tell you a little secret about how confidence works. It's not about always having the right answers or being the best in the room. It's about how you handle yourself in every situation. For example, when you speak, do so clearly and with intention. Don't rush your words or overload the conversation with filler phrases like, or, you know. This gives off a vibe that you're comfortable with silence and don't feel the need to fill every second with chatter. It also makes her feel like what you're saying is worth listening to, because you value your own words. But here's something even more important. Listen more than you talk. I can't stress this enough. When you listen actively, really listen, not just waiting for your turn to speak, it shows confidence. You're not in a rush to prove yourself or dominate the conversation. Instead, you're giving her the space to share her thoughts and feelings. And trust me, this can create a powerful connection because, in a world where everyone is trying to be heard, being the guy who listens is rare and incredibly attractive. Let me give you an example from personal experience. Imagine you're on a date, and she's telling you about her day or a topic she's passionate about. Instead of interrupting or trying to one-up her story, you listen, make eye contact, and show genuine interest. You ask thoughtful questions, but you don't feel the need to steer the conversation back to yourself. This simple act shows that you're secure enough in yourself to let her have the spotlight. And believe me, she'll notice that. Another aspect of confidence is being able to say no when it's necessary. A lot of people think that to be liked, you need to always agree or go along with whatever the other person wants. But, ironically, saying no when it's appropriate can increase respect and attraction. Why? Because it shows that you have boundaries, and you're not willing to compromise them just to gain approval. If she suggests something you're not comfortable with or doesn't align with your values, it's perfectly okay, and even attractive, to politely decline. This tells her that you're not easily swayed and you won't be pushed around. That firmness and self-respect are key components of real confidence. Now here's where the Stoic perspective ties in beautifully. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, mainly our thoughts, reactions, and actions. A Stoic man is calm and composed because he's not overly concerned with external validation. He knows that his worth isn't determined by someone else's approval but by his own actions and principles. This kind of inner confidence is unshakable because it comes from within, not from how others perceive him. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Confidence in this sense isn't about trying to impress anyone. It's about being comfortable in your own mind, understanding that you control how you respond to the world around you. When you internalize this, you stop feeling the need to seek validation from others, and that's when true confidence shines through. So, next time you're in a conversation with a woman, or anyone really, remember, slow down, speak with intention, listen more than you talk, and don't be afraid to set boundaries. Confidence isn't about trying to prove something. It's about knowing you have nothing to prove. Stick around until the end because the last weakness I'm going to reveal is one that's super easy to use to your advantage and will naturally pull her toward you, without any extra effort. If you're enjoying this video so far, take a moment to subscribe if you're ready to transform how you handle relationships using the power of Stoicism. Each video is a step toward mastering your mindset and building stronger, more meaningful connections. Alright, let's dive deeper into weakness 3. The ambitious man, a trait that can be incredibly magnetic when understood and applied the right way. Ambition, in its purest form, is more than just having big dreams. It's about the relentless drive to pursue them. Women aren't just attracted to the dreamers, they're drawn to the doers, the men who refuse to settle for a mediocre life. Think about it. Ambition signals leadership, resilience, and an unwillingness to give up when faced with challenges. It shows that you have a vision for your future, and that's captivating. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're working on a project that you're really passionate about. Maybe you're starting your own business or you're training for a marathon. That spark in your eye when you talk about it? That's what she'll notice. She'll see that fire and know that you're not the kind of guy who sits around waiting for life to happen to him. You're out there making it happen. Now here's where Stoicism comes into play. Ambition, when paired with Stoic principles, becomes even more powerful. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to accept what we cannot. So, while ambition pushes you to reach for the stars, Stoicism grounds you, reminding you that setbacks are just part of the journey. It's not about winning every time. It's about staying the course, even when things don't go your way. Women appreciate that balance. They want to see that you're striving for greatness but not losing your cool when things get tough. A Stoic man, who is both driven and unshaken by obstacles, is the kind of man that stands out in a world full of quitters. Here's a personal example to bring this home. I remember when I started my first big project and it felt like I was climbing a mountain. There were days when nothing seemed to go right. But I stayed focused, controlled what I could, and kept pushing forward. That persistence, that unwavering commitment to my goals, is something people around me noticed, including women. They could see that I wasn't just talking about doing something big, I was living it, every day. Now, it's important to mention that ambition doesn't mean you have to be chasing some wild dream 24/7. It's about having a sense of purpose, something that drives you. Even if you're just starting out or taking small steps, what matters is that you're moving forward with intention. So, if you're serious about embodying this trait, here's what you should focus on. Talk about your goals with passion, but let your actions do most of the talking. Show that you're working hard, but also stay grounded in the present. And don't worry if things don't always go according to plan. That's where Stoicism kicks in. Women will respect your ambition even more when they see how gracefully you handle the setbacks along the way. Now, what about you? What's something you're passionate about that you're working toward? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear how you're pushing yourself to new heights. And remember, ambition without action is just a dream. But when you combine it with purpose and perseverance, it becomes a force that's impossible to ignore. All right, let's break down weakness 4, being ignored, or rather, the power of indifference. This one's interesting because it plays on human nature. We tend to want what we can't have, right? And for women, who often get a lot of attention, not being the center of it can be pretty intriguing. Think about it. Most guys fall into the trap of constantly showering women with compliments, always chasing after them, and trying to win their approval. But here's the thing. When you're doing that, you're putting her on a pedestal, and in the process, you're lowering your own value. You're basically telling her, without saying it, that she's out of your league. But what happens when you flip that dynamic? When you act a little indifferent, like she's just another person in the room, it sends a completely different message. Let me tell you a quick story. I once had a friend who always did the opposite of what most guys would do when meeting someone new. He didn't try too hard. He didn't give out excessive compliments or try to impress her right away. He treated women with respect, of course, but in the same way he'd treat anyone else. And guess what? That attitude drove women crazy, in a good way. They were constantly curious, wondering why they weren't getting the attention they were used to. They'd ask him questions, try to get closer, and figure out what made him so different. His indifference wasn't rude. It was subtle and respectful, and it made them work for his attention. Now, let's add a Stoic perspective here because this is where it gets really interesting. Stoicism teaches us to control our emotions and not be overly attached to outcomes, whether in relationships or any other area of life. The Stoic mindset is about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. So, when you practice a bit of indifference with a woman, you're embodying that philosophy. You're showing that your sense of self-worth doesn't depend on whether she likes you or not. You're in control of your emotions, and that's incredibly attractive. Women are used to getting a lot of attention, but when you're not falling over yourself to impress her, it stands out. She starts to wonder, why isn't he paying more attention to me? What's different about him? This curiosity can actually work in your favor. It creates a little mystery, and people are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand. You're not playing games. You're just not putting all your cards on the table right away. That leaves room for her to chase you a little, which only increases her interest. And let's be clear, indifference doesn't mean you should ignore her completely or be cold. It's more about staying calm, collected, and not overly eager. You're showing her that while you respect her, You're not desperate for her validation. That confidence, rooted in Stoic self-assurance, makes a huge difference. Here's a simple tip. The next time you're talking to a woman, keep things light and casual. Don't feel the need to constantly impress her. Treat her like you would a close friend or anyone else you respect but aren't trying to win over. This attitude alone can shift the dynamic, making her more curious and engaged. Now, I'd love to know, have you ever noticed that acting a bit indifferent made someone more interested in you? Drop your experience in the comments below. And remember, it's not about playing mind games. It's about being comfortable in your own skin and not needing constant validation from others. By mastering the art of being just a little bit distant, you're showing her that you're a high-value man who's not easily swayed by attention. Combine that with Stoic emotional control, and you've got a winning combination that makes you stand out from the crowd. Let's dive into weakness 5, the enigmatic bad boy. Ah, the bad boy, the quintessential rebel, the one who seems to thrive on excitement and danger. It's no secret that many women find this type irresistibly attractive. There's just something about the thrill, the unpredictability, and that air of mystery that keeps them on their toes. But here's a little secret. You don't have to go full bad boy to captivate women. You don't need a leather jacket, a motorcycle, or a bad attitude. Instead, think of it more like channeling that bad boy energy in a way that's still true to who you are. The key lies in being a bit more enigmatic and less predictable in your interactions. Let's break this down a bit. Imagine you're on a date, and instead of laying everything out on the table, you keep a little bit of mystery alive. Maybe you share a fun story from your life but leave out certain details, piquing her curiosity. You can be open and friendly, but keep her guessing about your next move or where the relationship is heading. This subtle dance creates a thrilling dynamic that she may find hard to resist. I remember a friend of mine who embodied this kind of vibe perfectly. He was always doing interesting things, like taking spontaneous weekend trips or trying out new hobbies, without necessarily broadcasting them to everyone. When we hung out, he'd casually mention a cool event or a new skill he was learning, and that mystery made him endlessly intriguing. Women were naturally drawn to him, not just because of his adventures, but because they sensed that he had a life filled with surprises. He wasn't the typical guy who sought constant validation. Instead, he was busy living life to the fullest, and that confidence was magnetic. Now let's tie this back to Stoicism for a moment. Stoics teach us the importance of focusing on our own lives and pursuits, understanding that our happiness doesn't depend on the whims of others. When you're genuinely engaged in your own interests and passions, it creates a sense of depth that's incredibly attractive. You're not overly concerned with what she thinks. Instead, you're grounded in your own values and goals. This self-assuredness paired with a bit of unpredictability can create an intriguing aura that women find irresistible. You see, the bad boy isn't just about being rebellious. It's about embodying a certain freedom and independence. It's about not being afraid to take risks, whether in your hobbies or in your interactions with her. When you approach relationships with a sense of adventure, it naturally invites her to join you on that journey, creating excitement and anticipation. But here's the catch. While you can add a little mystery and unpredictability, it's essential to maintain respect and integrity. Being enigmatic doesn't mean being deceptive or playing games. Instead, it's about being genuine while keeping an element of surprise alive. Share your passions, but don't feel the need to explain every single detail. Let her discover the layers of your personality over time. So, what's a practical tip to help you tap into this enigmatic energy? Try to take the lead in your interactions. If you're planning a date, suggest something a bit unconventional, like visiting a quirky art exhibit or trying out a unique cuisine. Let her see that you're someone who enjoys exploring the world and is comfortable taking the reins. This not only piques her interest, but also positions you as someone who's both intriguing and self-assured. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever found yourself drawn to someone because of their mysterious vibe? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, you don't have to transform into a full-on bad boy. Just focus on being a little unpredictable, embracing your passions, and embodying that confident, enigmatic energy. By doing so, you'll naturally draw her in, creating a connection that's both exciting and meaningful. All right, before we jump back in, if you're finding this helpful, hit that like button. It helps YouTube share this with more men who need it, and it keeps the content coming. It's quick, free, and it makes a real difference. Thanks. Let's get back to it. Let's move on to weakness 6, the well-scented man. You might be wondering, really? Smell? But hear me out. There's something undeniably captivating about a man who smells good. Research shows that women are incredibly sensitive to scent. It's almost like a superpower. A pleasant fragrance can evoke emotions, trigger memories, and even create an irresistible attraction. Imagine walking into a room and catching a whiff of someone who just smells, well, amazing. It's not just about the scent itself, it's what it represents. When you take care of your appearance and hygiene, it communicates that you value yourself and respect those around you. It's a little detail that can have a massive impact. Picture this. You're getting ready for a date, and you spend a few extra moments selecting a cologne that complements your personality. Maybe it's a fresh citrus scent that lifts your spirits or a warm, woody aroma that gives off a sense of comfort. When you spritz that cologne on, you're not just masking body odor, you're adding a layer of charm and charisma that can leave a lasting impression. I remember a time when I met someone who really stood out, not because of flashy clothes or over-the-top accessories, but simply because of his scent. He had this unique, clean fragrance that lingered just long enough to be memorable. Every time we hung out, I found myself leaning a bit closer, drawn in by that comforting aroma. It made our conversations feel warmer, and I felt more at ease around him. That's the power of scent. It can create a genuine connection and enhance the overall experience of being together. From a Stoic perspective, caring for your personal grooming aligns beautifully with the idea of self-respect and attention to detail. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and our appearance, how we present ourselves to the world, is definitely within our control. By being mindful of your scent, you're embracing a philosophy of excellence in the little things, reinforcing the notion that how we care for ourselves reflects our inner values. So what can you do to make sure you're the well-scented man? Start with the basics. Invest in a quality shampoo that leaves your hair smelling fresh. It's surprising how much a good hair product can elevate your overall vibe. Keep your breath fresh by carrying mints or gum, especially before social interactions. Nothing ruins a great conversation like bad breath, right? Next, let's talk about cologne. When choosing a fragrance, less is often more. You don't want to overwhelm someone with a scent. Rather, aim for something light and subtle that lingers in the air, creating an inviting aura around you. Experiment with different fragrances until you find the one that feels like you. Remember, scent can become a part of your identity, something that people associate with you long after you've left the room. Also, don't underestimate the power of clean clothes. Freshly laundered clothing can carry a scent that's just as appealing. Choose fabrics that breathe and stay crisp. They'll not only feel good but also smell good, enhancing your overall appeal. Now, let's make this a bit interactive. Think about the last time you encountered a scent that brought back a memory or made you feel a certain way. Maybe it was the smell of a loved one's perfume or the cologne your favorite teacher wore. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. As we wrap up, remember, being the well-scented man isn't just about attracting attention. It's about embracing who you are and showing respect for yourself and others. By paying attention to the little things, like your scent, you're cultivating an aura that is undeniably attractive. So go ahead, elevate your grooming routine, and watch how it transforms not just your dating life, but your overall presence in the world. Next up is weakness 7, the charismatic womanizer. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let's clarify what I mean by womanizer. I'm not suggesting you become a player or treat women disrespectfully. Instead, think of it as embracing your social side and exuding a charm that naturally attracts others. You see, there's something inherently magnetic about men who are surrounded by women. This phenomenon is often referred to as pre-selection. Women tend to notice men who are popular with other women, and it creates a sense of intrigue. It's almost like a social proof. If others are drawn to you, it makes you appear more desirable. Think about it. When you see a guy hanging out with a group of confident, fun women, it sparks curiosity. You might find yourself wondering, what's his story? What does he have that makes them like him so much? Let me share a personal experience. I remember a friend of mine, Mark. He had this effortless charm about him. He wasn't the typical bad boy, but he had a magnetic personality that drew women in. He would often organize outings with his female friends. Nothing romantic, just good vibes and laughter. When we went out together, women were naturally attracted to him, and it was clear to see why. He listened, engaged in meaningful conversations, and genuinely valued their company. This created an aura around him that made him incredibly appealing. By the time we'd leave a bar or a party, you could see women looking his way, smiling and whispering to each other. It was as if he had this invisible force field that made him seem more desirable. And the best part? He didn't even have to try too hard. He simply embraced his social connections and let that be a part of his charm. So how can you channel this vibe? First, think about your own social circle. Are there female friends you can spend more time with? This doesn't mean you need to have romantic interests. Simply engaging with a diverse group of women can significantly enhance your allure. It shows that you are friendly, approachable, and that you understand how to interact with women in a respectful way. Plus, being around strong, confident women can help you grow and learn more about their perspectives, something that can only enhance your interactions with them. Now let's pause for a moment. Have you ever been in a situation where you noticed a guy's appeal just because he was surrounded by women? Share your stories in the comments. It's fascinating to see how our perceptions can change based on social dynamics. From a Stoic perspective, this idea ties into the philosophy of understanding oneself and how we relate to others. Stoicism encourages us to be mindful of our relationships and the impact they have on our lives. By surrounding yourself with positive and interesting people, regardless of their gender, you're practicing the Stoic principle of community and mutual respect. It reflects a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When you genuinely appreciate the company of others, it shines through and makes you more attractive. To enhance this further, consider how you can be genuinely engaging and supportive in these relationships. Be a good listener, show interest in their stories, and make them feel valued. When you treat your female friends with kindness and respect, it'll reflect positively on you, making others see you in a new light. Lastly, remember that authenticity is key. While it's great to embrace the persona of a charismatic man, ensure that you're being true to yourself. People can sense when someone is putting on a facade. Embrace your interests, hobbies, and passions, and don't be afraid to share them with your friends. This will create deeper connections and ultimately make you more appealing. So, as you navigate your social interactions, keep in mind that your relationships are a reflection of who you are. Surround yourself with inspiring individuals, build genuine connections, and let that charisma naturally flow. Who knows? The next time you walk into a room, you might just find that all eyes are on you, intrigued by the presence you've cultivated. Let's dive into weakness 8, the masculine man. Now, when I say masculine, I'm not talking about outdated stereotypes or the idea that you need to be tough all the time. Instead, it's about embodying a sense of strength that resonates on both physical and emotional levels. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude confidence and reliability, traits that often come from being comfortable in your own skin. Imagine walking into a room filled with people. There's always that one guy who seems to command attention without even trying. His deep voice carries across the room, and he exudes a calmness that makes people feel at ease. That's what I mean by a masculine man. He knows who he is, what he wants, and he doesn't need constant validation from others to feel good about himself. It's a beautiful thing to witness. Let me share a personal story. I once attended a networking event where a guy named Jake stood out among the crowd. He wasn't the loudest in the room, nor was he the flashiest dresser. Instead, he quietly engaged in meaningful conversations, listened intently, and offered thoughtful insights. His presence had this magnetic quality. You could see women naturally gravitating toward him. Later on, I found out that Jake was heavily into fitness, but beyond that, he was also deeply involved in his community, volunteering and leading initiatives that mattered to him. This combination of physical strength and emotional intelligence made him not just attractive, but admirable. So, how can you embody the traits of a masculine man? First, focus on your physical well-being. Staying active not only boosts your confidence but also improves your mental clarity. Whether it's hitting the gym, going for a run, or trying out a new sport, find what makes you feel strong and energized. As you build your physical strength, you'll notice a natural shift in how you carry yourself. You'll walk a little taller, speak with more authority, and approach life with a zest that is hard to ignore. Next, consider developing your leadership skills. This doesn't mean you need to become a CEO or run a major corporation. Leadership can manifest in many forms, from organizing a community event to simply being the friend who brings everyone together for a night out. When you take initiative and show that you can lead, it reinforces your independence and strength. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, a quality that is incredibly appealing to women. And speaking of independence, it's crucial to nurture your own interests and passions. When you have your own goals and hobbies, it not only enriches your life but also makes you more interesting to others. Women find it attractive when a man has his own life and isn't solely focused on gaining their approval. Think about what you love to do, whether it's playing an instrument, pursuing a hobby, or building a side business. Share these passions with others, and don't be afraid to let your individuality shine. Now let's bring in a bit of Stoic philosophy here. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-mastery and resilience. They taught that true strength comes from within, not from external validation or societal expectations. By focusing on your physical and emotional well-being, you embody the Stoic principles of courage and wisdom. When you approach challenges with a calm demeanor and an unwavering sense of self, you create a strong foundation that attracts others to you. So, let's take a moment to reflect. Think about a time when you felt genuinely strong, both physically and emotionally. What were you doing? How did that confidence affect your interactions with others? Share your experiences in the comments below. As you work on becoming the masculine man you aspire to be, remember that it's not about fitting into a mold. It's about being authentic to yourself and embracing the strengths that make you unique. When you embody strength, stability, and independence, you'll naturally draw others in. And who knows, you might just inspire someone else along the way to embrace their own journey of self-discovery. In the end, the most attractive quality of a masculine man is not just his physical strength, but the emotional resilience he cultivates. It's about being strong enough to be vulnerable, wise enough to listen, and courageous enough to pursue what truly matters. Keep this in mind as you embark on your journey, and let your true self shine through. Now let's talk about weakness 9, the passionate man. When you think of a passionate man, picture someone whose eyes light up when he talks about something he loves, whether it's his career, a hobby, or even a cause he believes in. This enthusiasm is magnetic, isn't it? Women are naturally drawn to men who exhibit this kind of zest for life. It's not just about what you love, it's how you express that love. Your excitement can spark intrigue, and that's incredibly appealing. Let me share a little story. I remember meeting a guy named Alex at a friend's party. When someone asked him about his work as a musician, he transformed before our eyes. His voice changed, and he became animated, describing the way music flowed through him, how it felt to create something from nothing and the joy it brought to others. You could practically feel the passion radiating from him. As he spoke, I noticed not just the women around him, but even the guys were leaning in, captivated by his energy. His love for music made him not just relatable, but admirable. That evening, I learned an important lesson. When you share your passions with that kind of enthusiasm, you create an instant connection with others. So, how can you embody the passionate man? First, Take a moment to reflect on what truly excites you. Maybe it's painting, cooking, writing, or even your career goals. Whatever it is, dive deep into it. Explore it, learn more about it, and let that excitement seep into your conversations. Imagine sitting across from her and suddenly launching into a discussion about that art project you've been working on. You could say something like, I just started painting again after years. There's this incredible feeling when the colors come together, like the canvas is telling me a story. It's so immersive. Notice how your voice might change, how your body language shifts. It all adds to the narrative. That infectious energy can be a game changer. When you share your passion, pay attention to her reactions. Is she leaning in, nodding and asking questions? That's a great sign. Keep the momentum going. If she seems intrigued by a particular aspect of your passion, dive deeper into that. Ask her what she thinks or if she has any experiences related to it. This creates a beautiful back-and-forth dialogue, strengthening that emotional connection. Now here's where the Stoic perspective comes into play. Stoicism teaches us to embrace our passions but also to balance them with reason. Passion is wonderful, but it can lead us astray if we allow it to consume us. A passionate man understands the importance of balance. He knows when to share his excitement and when to step back and listen. By doing this, he shows emotional intelligence, an incredibly attractive trait. For instance, think about a passionate conversation about your latest project. While you're enthusiastic, remember to engage her in a way that respects her perspective. You might say, "I love how creating art makes me feel alive. What about you? Is there something you're passionate about?" This not only keeps her engaged, but also opens the door for her to share her own interests, deepening the connection between you two. And let's be honest, passion has a way of breaking down barriers. When you allow your excitement to show, you create a safe space for her to express her own passions and desires. It's like creating a shared world where both of you can explore ideas and experiences, building a connection that feels genuine and lasting. Now let's take a moment to reflect. Think back to a time when you felt a surge of passion for something. What were you doing? How did it make you feel? Were you able to share that enthusiasm with someone else? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. In the end, remember that being a passionate man is about embracing what makes you come alive and allowing that energy to flow into your interactions. When you show your enthusiasm and invite others into your world, you create a powerful emotional bond. Combine that passion with the wisdom of Stoicism, and you've got a winning combination, one that draws others in and builds connections that matter. Keep that fire alive and watch how it transforms not just your relationships, but your entire life. And finally, weakness 10, the emotionally intelligent man. Let's take a moment to dive into what this truly means. In a world where feelings can often feel overwhelming or even confusing, an emotionally intelligent man stands out as a beacon of understanding. Women are naturally in tune with their emotions, and when a man demonstrates that he understands not just his feelings but hers as well, it's like music to their ears. Imagine this. You're out on a date, and she shares a story about her day. Maybe she's faced some challenges at work, or perhaps she's excited about a new project. Instead of jumping in with advice or trying to fix the situation, you lean in, look her in the eyes, and really listen. You might say something like, "That sounds really tough. How did that make you feel?" This simple yet profound response opens the door for her to express herself more fully. When you validate her feelings, you're showing her that you care, and that's incredibly attractive. It's not just about listening, it's about creating a space where she feels safe to express her emotions without fear of judgment. You're not just a passive observer in the conversation, you're an active participant, reflecting her feelings back to her. This creates a deeper connection that can be hard to find in today's fast-paced world. Let's take a quick detour and think about emotional intelligence from a Stoic perspective. Stoicism teaches us to recognize our emotions, understand them, and respond thoughtfully. It doesn't mean suppressing feelings, but rather embracing them while maintaining a sense of calm and rationality. So, when she shares something personal, A Stoic approach allows you to acknowledge your feelings, understand hers, and respond with clarity and empathy. Picture yourself in a situation where she opens up about her fears or insecurities. Instead of reacting impulsively, you take a moment to breathe and consider your response. You might say, "I completely understand why you feel that way. It's a natural reaction, and you're not alone in this." This not only shows that you understand, but also that you respect her feelings, reinforcing her trust in you. But how do you develop this emotional intelligence? Start by paying attention to your own emotions. Reflect on your feelings throughout the day. What made you happy? What frustrated you? Recognizing and labeling your feelings helps you better understand others. Once you become comfortable with your emotions, you'll find it easier to connect with her on that deeper level. Now let's talk about memorable moments. Sharing experiences can strengthen your bond. Whether it's cooking together, going for a hike, or simply watching a movie you both love, these moments create a shared narrative that deepens your connection. You might say, "Remember that hike we took? I loved how we got lost, but ended up finding that beautiful waterfall. It was such a great day." This kind of storytelling not only strengthens your emotional bond, but also opens the door for her to share her favorite memories, creating an ongoing dialogue that enriches your relationship. And don't underestimate the power of body language. When she talks, notice her posture, her facial expressions, and the way she gestures. These nonverbal cues can tell you a lot about her feelings. If she seems tense or uncomfortable, ask her how she's feeling, or if she wants to talk about something that's bothering her. This shows that you're not just hearing her words, but also seeing her as a whole person. Now I'd love to hear from you. Think back to a time when someone really listened to you or made you feel understood. How did that impact your relationship with them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Ultimately, being an emotionally intelligent man doesn't require grand gestures. It's about being present and engaged in the moment. By embodying this quality, you not only make her feel valued, but also create a strong foundation for your relationship. When she knows she can rely on you for emotional support, you become incredibly attractive without even trying. So, embrace your emotions, connect with her feelings, and remember that the journey to emotional intelligence is ongoing. Keep honing these skills and watch how your relationships blossom. It's a powerful way to forge deeper connections and create a meaningful bond that lasts. Before you go, now that you understand the hidden weaknesses women never admit, it's time to take things one step deeper. Click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now. 10 questions that make any woman go crazy for you. Inside, you'll discover the kind of questions that trigger real emotional attraction, the kind that make her feel seen, understood, and completely drawn to your masculine presence. So go ahead, tap that video now. And if this one helped you see women from a clearer Stoic perspective, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your journey toward calm strength and emotional mastery continues there.